Welcome to Chant A Psalm A Day outside, in nature, in creation. Yes, I set up outside so that we can share the psalm in creation. Look how beautiful the day is today. It's beautiful out here on the eastern shore of Maryland. Come and join. My chanting bowls. My chanting bowl. My chanting bowl. Doo, 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 doo. Okay, let's get to it. Let's get to it. I'm live on the gram as well, chanting the psalm today. And today's psalm is 67. 67. Today's psalm is 67. And it's titled, May Your Face Shine Upon I and I. So when we translate that, I translate it, May righteousness's face shine on I and I. And I am outside doing the psalm for that reason, because that is shining on I and I. As you can see, we may get some visitors, some bird friends. I see one there on the tree. Yeah. So we are here. And I wanted to, I'm on the gram as well. So those who are who have Instagram can join in on the psalm. So I'm expanding the platform. Okay. Psalm 67 is short. It's 7 verses, and the 7 verses are beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And I want to, I had a wonderful meeting yesterday. And my meeting yesterday was about this, my oils. And these oils are going to be produced, okay, mass produced. Those of you who received it, please, I need your feedback, good and bad. You got to give me your feedback on the oils. So we're outside today in creation. I'm on the gram as well, and talking about the psalm today. It's titled, Make the Face of Righteousness Shine on I and I. So that's why I'm out here today, making the face of righteousness to shine on I and to give a different setting for the psalm. So our setting is outside today. Yes, blessed greetings of love and happiness with massive gratitude, Elsu, for joining Chant A Psalm today. We are live outside, as you can see. Thanks for the liking the video. Thanks for sharing it, and all that good stuff that you do on YouTube. This Chant A Psalm today is brought to you by Caribbean Flavor. Caribbean Flavor. No, I went to Caribbean Flavor, to this restaurant, for dinner. I had a meeting, and the meeting was amazing because we talked about patents. Getting this patented is maybe not the best, not the thing to do, because it's actually a oil. So we talked about that. I'm not going to go into details about our meeting, but it's positive. It's, I am going to have that support to market this. It's going to get a bottle design. It's going to get a label design. It's going to get just a different design that's going to be marketable. And I need people's feedback so I could include it in the information once it's ready for the stores, because it's gonna go in the stores. Okay, it's gonna go in the stores. So may the face of righteousness shine on I and I. because this is liquid gold, y'all. So the psalm today is really powerful in that I look at what is the verse? I have the verse of the day on this phone. Oops. Let's see. Yep. So I use Olive Tree. I think it's Olive Tree Bible app that I'm using. And a verse of the day, accept one another. I love that. Accept one another. So the verse of the day is coming from Romans 15, verse 7. Accept one another just as righteousness accepted you, right? In order to bring, acknowledgement to righteousness, in order to bring that, people call praise to God. Well, you're bringing your righteousness in song and melody, okay? And in that song and melody, you are surrendering in your voice. So you're not like, oh, I can't, sing. I can't. No, yes, you can. Open your mouth and you can. You'll be surprised. I want to get in the band right now. So when we look at, the verse of the day coming from Romans 15, verse 7, accept one another. Why is it that we have to discriminate against each other based on origin, based on ethnicity, based on anything? We see that's happening today. We see that that's happening today with certain groups. Certain groups are being, and it's marginalized groups, already marginalized, that's being, marginalized some more. So what do? We have to look at Romans 15, verse 7. And Romans 15, verse 7 is looking at, loving one another. So Romans 15, verse 7, so I can find Romans. You all think I know the Bible as good as I am learning, y'all. Romans. Okay. Romans is in the, look at 12:59. 12:59. So Romans 12, I think it says. Love in action. I love this. Okay. So when I look at the verse of the day coming from Romans, it compelled me to go in and look at it in the scripture itself. And it's talking in Romans 12, living sacrifice. It's talking about humble service in the body of righteousness, that place that you are going to glorify that righteousness in your body. You're going to take care of your body. You're going to make, yourself, care for yourself, because you're caring for that higher power that's within you. You know what I mean? It's like you have to pour water on yourself. It's like you're watering a plant. You planted a seed. That seed is going to grow. So then love in action. And you have to share your gifts. So when your gift is to prophesy, then do that in accordance with faith. And when your gift is to serve, then serve. When your gift is to teach, then teach. When your gift is to encourage, then encourage. If your gift is giving, then give generously. Okay. When your gift is to lead, lead diligently. When your gift is to show mercy cheerfully. So you have mercy on someone in a cheerful way, like, here, I'll help you up. Come on. Um, then we look at love in action. Love must be sincere. I don't want to use sins in words, but I'm learning in my journey in this life that the intention behind words or what gives them the power, not necessarily the letters of the words, but the intention behind it. So being sincere is being honest. So to avoid that, I use the word, let's just be honest. Okay, love must be honest. And someone told me that I'm crippling myself by doing that, and I'm crippling myself and limiting myself in terms of the language, and putting that negativity on that word, and not wanting to use it. And when others use it, you have that that negative is there because you think of it as negative. So I explained that the reason I do that is because I have to go and sin no more. And in that, I'm looking at it in the Trinity. My thoughts are positive, my words are positive, and my actions are positive. Because we are surrounded by negativity in the world. So we have to be that positive. We have to be that light. So in that positivity, I'm going to use positive affirmations. Okay? And the intention behind these words is what gives them power. The motivation behind it, and not necessarily the word itself. It's just like a gun. The gun doesn't have power until you pick it up and you aim it and shoot it, right? It's laying there. It's like I don't want to compare it to the word, but the word is there. And the word, in the beginning there was the word, and the word became flesh. It walked on the earth, a word, that truth of that word. And then it was used against people to enslave them using the words. So the language is an important part of my app that I've created, language growth. Because the growth of language is the beginning of intellectual heights. When you can use words and have a vocabulary and you can name your feelings. Some people can't name their feelings. And when they can't name their feelings, they use the F word, or they use another word that expressing that feeling of whether it's frustration, anger, whatever that feeling is. It comes out in that word. And it shouldn't. It should come out in words that express that feeling and name that feeling. I'm frustrated. You're making me upset. I'm feeling not valued. This is how I'm feeling. And I'm naming it. But I'm not going to stay in that feeling. I'm going to move from that feeling. And I'm going to rise up from the ashes of those negative feelings to embrace positive within, because out there, that's what it is. It's negative out there. You have to have that balance. So love must be honest, right? I don't like the word hate. So I use the word, I don't love what is evil. I'm not going to love what's evil. I'm going to cling to what is good. I'm going to be devoted to one another in love. I'm going to honor one another above myself. I'm never going to be lacking in zeal. However, I'm going to keep righteousness's fervor serving righteousness. Okay? So you're going to keep your spiritual fervor, it speaks of spiritual. I use the word righteousness, love, kindness. It defines spirituality. Okay? And that righteous fervor, that having that gladness to do good and the gladness to, and the joy in having mercy, being glad to be merciful and compassionate. You're not acting it out or faking it. You're realizing the truth of your divinity, your own divinity. And that divine order within you is expressed in how you clean your house. It's expressed in, how you clean out your closet, how you organize your life. It's expressed that way. So be joyful in the future. Be patient in affliction. When you're suffering from depression or you have anxiety or you're lonely or you're feeling afflicted, be patient. It's going to pass. This too shall pass, right? It's going to pass. Faithful in your communication to righteousness, to that higher power. Maybe you don't think of a higher power. Maybe you don't believe in God or Lord or these names that have been given to indoctrinate a religiosity of rules of mankind and getting away from the truth of just doing good and loving each other and putting others before yourself. So when you are faithful in that communication, meaning that you get up and you talk to God, you talk to your ancestors, talk to that you cannot see, because what you cannot see is eternal, but what you can see is temporary. Okay? It's temporary. So you got to remember that when you love someone and you're away from them, you have to realize that pain of that loss is you have to be patient in that, and it's going to pass. You just have to be faithful in your communication to that one that you speak to that you're not able to see. I was told, talk to your dad. He's passed away, but you can talk to him. He's looking at you from his third eye, because he doesn't have the two, that his flesh is no longer around on the earth. However, that being, that energy still exists. It can't be destroyed. It's got to be in a different form now. So love in action, sharing with people who are in need and practicing hospitality, being hospitable to folks, practicing that. Bless those who persecute you. Bless and do not curse. Rejoice with those who rejoice. Mourn with those who mourn. Live in harmony with one another. Do not be proud. However, be willing to associate with people of low position. Associate with people of low position, meaning, even the custodian that working in the school. Maybe you're a teacher and the custodian, has that low position. That's what we think. I think of them as a high position because cleanliness is next to what. So they're in a high position. But in society, we look at them as in a low position. So in associating yourself with people who may be looked at as in a low position, right? Do not be conceited. Do not repay anyone wrong for their wrong. Someone wronged you, don't give them a wrong back. Show them what righteousness is. Be careful to do what is right in the eyes of everyone. When that righteousness is a possibility, as far as that righteousness depends on you. Okay? Live at love and harmony with everyone. Do not take revenge, my dear friends. However, leave room for the righteousness's wrath, for righteousness is written, vengeance is mine. It is mine to avenge. I will repay, speaks righteousness. On the other side, when the enemy is hungry, feed the enemy. When the enemy is thirsty, give the enemy something to drink. And what's the enemy? Wrongness. So when wrongness comes, don't wrong them for their wrongness. Give them some water. Say, would you like some water to drink? You know, you cursing me out and you're attacking me. Would you like some water? Give them something to drink when they're thirsty. In doing this, you're going to heap burning coals on them, right? It's not when you wrong someone for wronging you, you're hurting yourself. In other words, don't do it. Do not be overcome by wrongness, but overcome wrongness with goodness. Okay? And people don't do that because they have abandoned their relationship with the Most High. They've abandoned it because they see the Most High or see God outside of themselves, when in fact that one lives within you. So that is our verse today. And I wanted to start off with that because of loving one another. That's important. And people are not doing that in our world much or infrequently, right? We have that going on. So in Psalm 67, Psalm 67, let's see, I'm going to look at it in here too. Psalm 67. Psalm 66, Psalm 67, here it is. So Psalm 67, may righteousness be gracious to I and bless I, and make righteousness' face to shine on I. So we want righteousness to be an imprint. It's an imprint on our lives. We cannot refuse it, because guess what? When you don't use something, you're going to lose it, right? Use it or lose it. So you have to put it into action. And that's where Romans talks about love in action. It's got to be action. Love is a verb. My son has a song on YouTube he made called Love is a Verb. It's action. It's an action. So when we look at the Psalm 67, may righteousness, may God be gracious to I and bless I and make his face shine on I. So in translation, may that righteousness, that's female as well as male, okay, may that righteousness be gracious to I and bless I and make the face of righteousness shine on I. Shine on I. That face of righteousness will shine on I. So that righteousness's ways may be known on earth. So when righteousness shines on you, you become that example of what good is. And you are actually expressing that in your life, and your future, the ways of righteousness will be known among the nations now because of you. So that's why it's important. It starts with you. It starts with the man in the mirror, the woman in the mirror. We put a mirror up to ourselves, and sometimes we don't want to look in that mirror. Like, I had to look at myself in terms of my crippling and limitation of words and their negative, vibrations. I don't want to live in that way. I want to elevate now so that the words that are negative, I don't give them the power. I'm not going to give them the power, right? So word is power. So we don't want to give the negative ones power by either eliminating it, or making a judgment when someone uses it. So I don't want to do that. I don't want to be, a judge and juror for people's words. People's intention behind the words is what I'm going to be pursuing and looking at deeply, and their intentions behind what they're speaking of, so that I may grow in the journey that I am on, and not close-minded but open-minded to that knowledge, basically. So, may the people praise you, God. May all the peoples praise you. So what does that mean? Praise you, give thanks to you, make music to righteousness, okay, to that goodness and mercy. We want that to be elevated, okay? May all the people praise you. May everyone give you thanks. I see the birds out here. Oh, it's beautiful out here. It's nice and cool. And verse 4, may the nations be glad and sing for joy. So may the nations be glad and chant, make music for joy. May the nations make a song of joy. For righteousness rule the people with equity and guide the nations on the earth. So righteousness rules. That's one of the shirts I got. Righteousness rules, or rules of righteousness, is to love and action in action. So that gladness that the nations may have in chanting for joy, its righteousness is going to exalt a nation. So all the candidates out there running for governor, running for whatever office in the government, president of the United States, all of that, remember that righteousness is going to exalt a nation. So what is righteousness? It's truth. It's going to set people free. However, some nations want people to be kept where they want them to be kept. They don't want them to be free to make free choices. So that is where you have an abundance of disagreement and discord, because people want to be free. Power to the people, remember? The people is supposed to be the government, but it's now not the people's government anymore. It's becoming dictatorship and ruling over a woman's body, and telling what books you can read and what books you can't read. Why is there even a ban on any book? Soon the Bible, they're gonna ban it. If you have a Bible in your home, they're about to come and take it. So you better learn to memorize a lot of this stuff in here, because if they're banning books, guess what is the next book they're going to try to take away? So we have to be really aware of what's going on within the nations, and that the nations' righteousness is the only thing that's going to rule the people, and it's going to rule them with equity. That's what righteousness does. It's a equal playing field. We don't have that. Women are making less than men. I'm a professor. I make less than a man who's a professor. Same job, same thing. Why is that the case? Why is it that black people are making less than white? Why is there a wealth gap? Why is there a education gap? Why is all these gaps? Gaps here, gaps there, it's a reason. It's a reason. So in verse 6, this is Psalm 67, in verse 6, may the people, the land yields a harvest. Okay. The land yields a harvest. And this is harvest time. Around this time, we're having harvest. We have pumpkins, we have a harvest happening. And within that, we see the abundance of goodness, and we call it a bless. For righteousness, bless I and I with an abundance of harvest. And may that righteousness bless I and I still today, so that all the ends of the earth will be afraid of doing the wrong thing. And they will do the right thing because of their fear of that one that is righteousness, or righteousness itself. You're like, okay, I don't want to do no wrong because I'm afraid of doing the wrong thing, and righteousness leaves me. I want to be righteous. I want to take righteousness and dwell within that space. So all the ends of the earth will be afraid to be wrong to someone, or to bomb someone up, or to take a bomb and put it in, a phone and blow it, silly stuff like that. They're going to be afraid to do that because they fear the outcome. When you do wrong, this is going to follow you. This is going to be your place. And that's why I tell folks, when you do wrong to people, remember it's going to be returning. Okay, the police just pulled over a car there, it looks like. Wow. So we have the psalm today, we have the verse of the day I went into, and our word today, if I can find that real quick. Our word today, okay. So the word today, I think it's healing. The word today is healing. Healing. And I love that's our word today, because healing, we all need healing. I'm still healing from a lot. So my thoughts, words, and actions affirm fullness. Fullness is I and I true nature. Even when I'm facing a health challenge, divine life is active in every cell of my being. Knowing truth of that, I hold healing thoughts and speak life affirming words, okay? While making sure to give my being the rest, nourishment, what I'm about to go have breakfast in a few minutes, and care that will help strengthen and heal my being. I refuse to allow thoughts of sickness or weakness to grow in I and I mind and awareness. I seek support among friends and family that share I and I belief in fullness. As I have been supported, I offer support. I feel honored when I'm asked for healing words. I look beyond the appearance of illness, and with faith-filled vision, I behold and affirm the fullness that is seeking to express more completely in the lives of those for whom I am asking healing for on their behalf. So this word of the day is brought to you by John 5:6. When Jesus saw him lying there and knew that he had been there a long time, he said to him, "Do you want to be made well?" John 5:6. So Jesus embodies what righteousness is, right? That's what that one represents. Okay? And that righteousness, that goodness, that mercy, that love, that kindness, and that honorable existence of that one is making you well. Righteousness is going to make you well, in other words. And you know the story of the woman by the well, right? That wellness. Wellness is a big word these days. So that wellness, blessed rise, blessed rise. I'm on my YouTube channel as well as my gram. So we're chanting a psalm a day. Blessed Sunday. Some of you go to Sunday service. I go to Sunday service, but not when I'm in Maryland. I look at it on YouTube. I'm starting the psalm off today a little late because I had a wonderful meeting with a librarian who's a neighbor, just moved in, and I was talking to her. And I love that. I love librarians and teachers. They're my best friends. Librarians and teachers who really love and have a passion for their work, you know, because some teachers don't. They're just there for the money, whatever. But I know librarians and teachers out there that I know love their work and they're passionate about what they do. So when looking at the word today, healing is the word today. It's brought to you by John 5:6. Jesus spoke about and asked a question: do you want to be made well? So when we look at John, that is our gospel, the book of John. And where is John? James, 2nd John, 3rd John. Okay, we have to go to the front here and look to see where John. I told y'all I'm learning. John 11:89. Okay, 11:89. So John 5:6. John 5:6, everyone. Come on. John 5:6. So the healing at the pool. This is about healing, the healing at the pool. Sometime later, Jesus went up to Jerusalem for one of the Jewish festivals. Now there is in Jerusalem near the sheep gate a pool, which in Aramaic is called Bethesda, and that is surrounded by 5 covered colonnades. Here a great number of disabled people used to rest: the blind, the lame, the paralyzed. One who was there had been an invalid for 38 years. When Jesus saw him lying there and learned that he had been in this condition for a long time, he asked him, "Do you want to get well?" I love that. Do you want to get well? So I'm going to ask everybody out there, do you want to get well? I'm going to ask myself, do you want to get? Yes, I do. Sir, the invalid replied, I have no one to help me into the pool when the water is stirred. While I'm trying to get in, someone else goes down ahead of me. So people are being selfish. They're pushing the invalid aside, and you see that? Marginalizing people. Then Jesus said to him, get up, pick up your mat and walk. What is that? Isn't that action? That's action, right? That's love in action. That's righteousness in action. Move in. Okay? Move in. He said, get up. Pick up your mat and walk. He didn't say, just get up and walk. He said, pick up your Georgie Bungle and go. Right? Pick up your mat and walk. You want healing? You got to pick yourself up and go. You got to go. You got to go to the healing. Yes. You got to pick up yourself and go. So at once the man was cured. He picked up his mat and walked. Dropped the mic. Picked up his mat and walked. The day on which this took place was a Sabbath. And so the Jewish leader said to the man who had been healed, "It is the Sabbath. The law forbids you to carry your mat." Okay, what I talk about, y'all, the rules of religiosity and the division and the divisiveness, because what is happening on the Sabbath is righteousness is happening. Healing is happening. Healing is happening. So why don't these leaders want healing to happen? Because they want to control folks. This is when they started doing these things. And the world, that's where the world is today. They want to control people. You can't do this. You can't read that book. They're banning books. Okay? You can't read this book. You can't read that book. We want you to get this vaccine. We want to put this stuff inside of your body. We're going to give you junk food to eat so you can go to the doctor, because the doctor and the medical health care is in on it. And it's a cycle. It's just a cycle. So what did Jesus do? Pick up. He said, pick up your mat and go. Walk. Pick it up and go. Okay? So they asked him. But he replied, "The man who made me well said to me, pick up your mat and walk." So the man who was healed, he's getting in trouble. He's like, why you're not supposed to be picking up your mat. Okay. And this is a time when they put the mat down and they would, pray on the Sabbath day. So Jesus is like, pick up your mat, dude, and get to stepping. So the man is like, this man told me to do that. So they asked him, who is this fellow who told you to pick it up and walk? The man who was healed had no idea who it was. He didn't know who it was. For Jesus had slipped away into the crowd that was there. Like a mist. What is righteousness? I told her it's a mist. That righteousness is flowing all around you, man. Like, receive it. Okay? Just because we don't see that one, or we don't see, we see what we see in front of us. But what we don't see is eternal, that's going to be for always. Always and forever. Okay? So later, Jesus found him at the temple and said to him, "See, you are well again. Stop sinning, or something worse may happen to you." Okay? So what did Jesus tell the man? Stop sinning. Stop doing wrongness and seek for that midst of righteousness. That's going to heal you. Look, my Sunday service just clicked on. I'm getting ready to go to Sunday service online, y'all. Pastor Torre, Pastor Sarah Jakes Roberts. I mean, it fills you up and gives you enough you need for your journey through your days ahead. I'm not even going to call it for the week ahead, for the days ahead. So Jesus is telling him, see, you are well again. You picked up your mat and you walked. You made that action, that step. When you take one step in the right direction, when you take a step in the right direction, guess what? You're going to be healed. You're going to be healed. So the man went away and told the Jewish leaders that it was Jesus who had made him well. Oh, he revealed now who it was. It was righteousness that made me well. My own goodness. And that's what the example that Jesus told this man. He said, you have that inside of you. I can't pick myself up like this without having that motivation to pick myself up, right? When I get up and stand up, I pick myself up and I walk, right? So we see how love is an action from our verse today. Okay? Our verse today. And that verse today coming from Romans. That verse today coming from Romans, powerful verse. Let me see. Yep. Romans 15:7. Accept one another. Accept one another. Yeah. So we have I'm about to get ready for breakfast and go do my Sunday service. Not do my Sunday service, but listen to Sunday service. I want to thank everybody for joining Chant A Psalm. This is a Chant A Psalm. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. I need subscribers. So subscribe to my channel, like this video, and we will see you next time for Chant A Psalm A day. Okay? Let's see what Max Lucado has for today, just out of curiosity. Wow! Max Lucado walking with the Savior, September 22nd. Get your brain in gear. Listen, I'm sending you out as sheep among wolves. I told everybody that. We need to be positive because out there is negativity, right? So be as clever as snakes and as innocent as doves. Matthew 10:16. So have a blessed day, everyone. This is Max Lucado walking with the Savior as we end. Blessed. He says, don't retire your brain when you become a follower of righteousness. Be a thinker. Jesus told his followers to be shrewd as snakes. The first thing you need to do to solve problems is to get your brain in gear. That may not sound very spiritual, but it's a very practical principle. You need to use your head. Use your head. I need to use my head. I received that. I received that. Thank you, Max Lucado. Thank you, Sam. Thank you to the Most High. Greetings and thank you of love and happiness with massive gratitude for the Most High. Y'all have a blessed day, everybody. Take good care. Take good care, everyone. Mwah, 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 mwah. Remember, stand in love. Don't fall in it. Stand in love. Bless. Selah and Selah again. May the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in the sight of what is right. Selah.